I'm Narendra Verma once again before you. As you know very well that we have been dealing with the fourth chapter in business studies for class 12 CBSE syllabus, that is planning. And planning we have covered so far meaning, definition, features, importance, limitations and steps of plan, right? So today is the last session of this chapter and today we are going to cover all types of plan, right? So without wasting much time, let's start. So this is the categorization of plans, right? On the basis of the uses, okay, in short or long period or in terms of number of time, the plans have been categorized broadly in two categories. One, single use plans and another is standing plans. And this is the third category I have made, the plans which do not belong to any of these category come under this category. That is why it has been named as neither single use nor standing plans, right? Okay, so now let's understand about single use plans, and these are the examples which are there in your syllabus. Okay, for single use plans we will be studying budget, program and method in today's session, and for standing plans we will be studying policy, procedure, rules. Okay, and for this category we will be studying objectives and strategy, right? But before proceeding further, very first let's talk about single use plans and standing plans. What is the difference between them and what is the meaning of these two, right? So let's start with single use plans first. Okay, see guys, what happens, single use, as by the name it is very much clear that these are the plans which are meant to be used only for a single time. Alright, these are made for short period, okay, and these are specifically designed to achieve some particular goals, okay, and these cannot be used for the recurring activities, means these are designed to solve the problems of non-recurring nature. Non-recurring nature means the problems which do not happen again and again, right? Okay, that is why these are also known as specific plans. The other names of these is specific plans, right? Okay, and one more thing, these are not very much stable. These are less stable in comparison to standing plans, and these have very narrow scope. Actually, what happens, why these are not very much stable? Because as and when the specific purpose is sorted out, the plan is completed. Okay, so that is why these are less stable and these have narrow scope, because these can be worked only those particular purposes. For other purposes, these cannot be utilized. Understood? Okay, so this is all about single use plans and the examples are before you. We'll be studying, okay, budget, program and method. We'll be studying these three in detail after I finish the explanation on these. Okay, now let's talk about standing plans. Now it is, as by the name it is clear, standing means these keep on standing. Okay, these plans are made for those activities which keep on occurring in the business operation again and again, right? Means these are designed for the problems of recurring nature which are repeated. Okay, so these are there for the long period, okay, and these are more stable in comparison to single use plans. Why? Because for various purposes these are used. Alright, okay, that is why these are also known as multiple use plans, okay, or we can call them repeated use plans. So these are other two names of these standing plans. Okay, these standing plans work for various multiple purposes, okay, and these are having very wide scope and these are more stable. Okay, why these are more stable? Because these may work in the organization for more than one accounting period, for various years. Okay, as I told you that these are formulated for long period. Okay, and just because of that they have wider scope. Understood? So this was all about standing and single use plans. Now let's talk about a bit about this neither single use or standing plans. Actually what happens, these two kinds of plans are there. These completely do not fall in any of these categories. Neither we can call them single use nor we can call them standing plans, because sometimes these plans are used for a single purpose and sometimes these are used for various purposes and many times. Okay, for example, we can talk about strategy. Strategy can be there for long period as well as for short period. Okay, so that is why these do not belong to any category. Similarly, if we talk about the objectives, objectives can also be there for long period as well as for short period. Okay. So it is all about their categorization. Now we'll be studying about all these plans with the suitable examples one by one. Alright, so let's start. So very first we are starting with objectives. Actually objective is not the new term coming before you. Already we have discussed it, right? Okay, when I was discussing the steps of the planning, so objective, setting objective was the very first step of the planning. And there itself I explained what is the meaning of objective. One more time I am repeating here. Okay, objectives, as I told you, this is the first step of the planning. This is the basic step in the planning. Okay, and what does it mean? The definition is written here. If one sentence definition is asked in examination, okay, then you can write it down. Fine. Objectives are the end results, okay, which the management seeks to achieve within a given time period by its operation. Understood? So this is very simple definition. You can easily understand. There is nothing more complex to be understood. Okay, end results means at last what is to be achieved, okay, by the management, fine, within a given time period by performing the operating activities. Understood? Okay, one more thing I would like to add here, which is very much important. Last time also I told you, one more time I am telling that these objectives should be in specific terms. Specific terms, what does it mean? These need to be measurable. Okay, measurable in quantitative terms. That is very much important one. Okay, the objectives must be in specific terms. Specific term means in quantitative terms these must be measurable. Okay, how I explained you last time, the objectives can be like that. There is a company, okay, which sets its objective that this year they need to increase their turnover by 10%. Okay, there can be another company which sets its objective that they need to reduce their cost by 5% in the next year, right? So within a given time period, this is the end result the organization wants to achieve. One more thing, why these needs to be measurable in quantitative terms? Because if we do not set our objectives in quantitative form, then it is very much difficult to determine whether we achieve those objectives or not. For example, one organization sets its objective that we want to increase our sale. Okay, one organization sets its objective that we will be making good sale this time, right? Now, what is the definition of good? Okay, earlier, say for example, that they were getting the turnover 10 lakh and now they got 10 lakh 50,000. Alright, but even then the management of the company is not happy. The management is complaining that this is the good sale, this is not good sale at all. Now the employees are saying that what is the definition of good sales? Sir, we have increased that. Now he says that at least they should have been 15 lakh. Okay, then the entire staff says that sir, we should have planned our objectives in that manner. You should have told that we need to increase 50% sale, right? So instead of saying like that we need good sale, he should have said what? That we need to increase sale by 50%. That would have been the judgment. Okay, understood? That objective would have been the proper objective in specific terms. So that is what we mean. Okay, however, it is a written statement. Like this is a written statement to increase sales by 10%, to increase sales by 50%, to reduce the cost by 5%, etc. Okay, this is a written statement, but the written statement should be there in specific terms, that by how much time, by what percentage. Okay, like I told you that it has to be in quantitative terms. And one more thing, it is not necessary that all the time the percentage is required. They can set their objectives in terms of entire complete figure. Means instead of showing 50%, they can say that next year we have to achieve the target of 15 lakh sales. That is also measurable. If it is 15 lakh, it's okay. If it is less than 15 lakh, it means the company failed to achieve the target. Understood the point? So objective should be in specific terms. One point. Another point is that the different departments or divisions and the individual employees have their own objectives. Alright, the objectives are set for the complete organizations. Okay, these work as guide, okay, for the entire organization, and just on the basis of that, the objectives are divided into different departments, divisions, and among the employees. Alright. So this is all about the objectives. Now let's move on to another type of plan. Okay. So the next plan is strategy. Strategy is a comprehensive plan to accomplish an organization's objectives. Okay. If you need to write down anywhere the one sentence definition, then you can write it down. Okay. That it is a comprehensive plan to accomplish an organization's objective. Now we need to understand that what does this comprehensive plan include? These include the three things. Okay, one, determining the long-term objectives. What are the long-term objectives? Okay, another, what is the particular course of action needs to be taken right now, and allocating the necessary resources to achieve the objectives. Right? So three dimensions I discussed. One, just determining the long-term objectives. Another, just deciding the particular course of action right now, and the third one, allocating the necessary resources to achieve the objectives. Right? So within these three dimensions, this plan is supposed to work. Okay, actually the strategy is very much affected by the forces working in the business environment. Already we have discussed in the business environment chapter that there are various forces working in the environment which directly or indirectly affect the performance of the business, right? Okay, I just give you very easy example. If any of the competitors of any company is making any activity, okay, is doing something new, then definitely the business of yours will be affected. Okay, then what would you like to do? You would also like to adopt a different strategy to beat his move. Understood? Okay, actually this strategy term has been developed from the war. Okay, when there are two opponents, okay, I am just talking about the countries. Okay, so they need to fight with each other and they need to beat each other. They need to form different kind of strategies. Okay, so from there it has come from very old time. This has been going on. Okay, so in business also it works, right? So but it means a lot. Okay, sometimes it is known as the strategic decision, right? Okay, so it really gives shape to the entire organization. Okay, and strategies can be there for short period as well as for long period. We need to understand it. Okay, and one more thing, like I told you, that changes in the business environment decide the strategy of the organization. And if we talk about the strategic decisions, then the major strategic decisions can be like just to diversify the business line, okay, or to deal in the same business line but with the different product line, okay, or to become dominant in the market, etc. Okay, so these can be the major strategic decisions. I would like to give you an example for that. Okay, right now COVID-19 pandemic is going on. Okay, and just in the beginning when this disease came into existence, then everywhere in all the countries the lockdown was there. Then at that point of time businesses were affected very badly, right? Now only the most essential things were being sold out. Okay, and there was the huge demand of alcohol based sanitizers, masks, okay, and other medical facilities, right? Okay, then the liquor making companies, what they did, because this is what the change happening in the environment, okay, due to the natural factors. Okay, now what the companies did, there are various companies, because they were using the alcohol. Earlier they were selling liquor, wines, etc., but now they have started producing alcohol based sanitizer, right? Okay, so that was a kind of strategic decision. Okay, understood? Similarly, I would like to give you one more example. When one telecommunication giant in India, Jio, entered, okay, Jio came up with one strategy. The strategy was there to dominate in the market, okay, and to beat other competitors. What it did, it started giving free services to the people, right? It started distributing free SIM, free calling, free messages, free internet, etc. Various advantages were given. Then their market share increased and so many competitors were left behind, okay, and the Jio won its game. Understood? That is what the strategic decision, that is all about this strategy. So strategy can be there in terms of advertisement, strategy can be there in terms of production, strategy can be there in terms of providing good services to the consumer. Okay, strategy can be there in terms of increasing the product lines. Okay, earlier you were producing a single product, now you are producing more product. Okay, we can take the example of Nestle. Okay, Maggi brand was very much popular of Nestle, that was noodle, but under the same brand, just to take the advantage, they made a strategy, okay, and then they started launching soup by the same brand, Maggi soup, okay, and the pasta by the same brand, Maggi pasta, etc. Fine, that was a kind of strategy. Understood? So these are the strategies. Now you must have understood what I am trying to say. Okay, so in terms of strategy, as the definition explains here, it is a comprehensive plan. Fine, comprehensive, it includes 3 dimensions. I have already explained you, and it can be there for short as well as long period, and it is affected by the forces of the business environment. Understood? If we talk about the competitors, competitors are also the forces of the business environment. If we talk about the political, legal, social, economic and technological environment, then these all are the external forces of the business environment. If there is a change in all of these, then definitely the strategy of the business has to be amended. New strategies need to be formed if you really want to be ahead of your competitors, right? Now let's move on to another type of plan. So the another plan is here, policies. Okay, what are the policies? If you need to write down the one sentence definition, that is, policies are general statements that guide thinking or channelize energy towards a particular direction, right? Means policy takes the complete organization into a particular direction. As many policies are there, the organization is working in these dimensions. Okay, it is moving towards these dimensions. Fine. So these are the general statements. Okay, see what happens. Policies work as guide for the managers to take decisions. Okay, actually policies are derived from the objectives of the organization. Okay, as the objectives are there, so as the policies formed in the organizations. Okay, so policies give the managers a broad framework within which they need to move, they need to function, they need to do the operating activities. Okay, and they just set a parameter as well, right? Okay, and with the help of that parameter, the manager is assisted in the work of taking decision, right? Okay, so this is all about the policies. The policies can be there of various types. I just write down here. Okay, a company can have traveling policy. I just gave you the example in the last video related to the traveling policy. Okay, recruitment policy, a company can have recruitment policy. Transfer policy, a company may have various policies. Okay, I would like to give you the examples. Whenever you just download any app, then you find policy there. You find their terms and conditions. Okay, so that is a part of their policy. Understood? Now I just give you one more example. Okay, suppose that you are using one telecommunication services. Say for example, you are using Airtel. Okay, if any problem is there in your bill, if you are using the postpaid connection, if there is any problem, okay, if you just check their website, then you will get the policies related to the bill payment, bill charges, etc. Understood? Okay, so this is about the policy. Fine. If you talk to their customer care, then they would like to interpret the policy. That sir, we have this policy, we cannot do that, etc. Okay, here I would like to add one more thing. There are various policies for all levels and departments in the organization, ranging from major company policies to minor company policies. Okay, there are few policies which are known as major company policies, and these are common to all. These are there in the public parlance, means this is known to outsiders like customers, client, competitors, etc. Okay, and the others are the minor company policies, and these are open to only insiders. Okay, these become the basis of the information. Okay, I would like to give you an example of the minor and major policies so that you can understand pretty well. Okay, I just told you that if you are using one telecommunication service like Airtel, say for example that under your postpaid connection the bill has been exceeded. Okay, the bill has been exceeded due to the usage of Hello Tube. Okay, however you did not activate that service, but that service was activated. Okay, and in your bill charges of that service is also included. Now you try the customer care number. Okay, now you just explain the entire case to that person. Now what that person tries to say, sir, we do not have that policy. Okay, any operation from your mobile phone has been done regarding that. We have received a message for activating the services. We have computerized system. Okay, so we cannot give you the payment back. You need to deposit. So we cannot forgive this. You need to deposit the entire amount. Sorry, sir. Okay, so this is what the major policy that they have interpreted. If you go to their website, you will get the same kind of detail there as well. Understood? Now I just tell you something about the minor policy. Now what happens when you become adamant? Okay, because you must have experienced such kind of cases, that's why I have picked that example. Okay, now you become adamant, you become angry, furious, and you start saying like that I am a very old and valuable customer of yours and you are cheating me on this. Okay, I know very well that I did not activate the service has been activated from your side. Okay, now what I'm going to do, I'm going to change the number forever. Okay, now I'll not be any longer the consumer of Airtel. Okay, regarding this, I would like to speak to your senior authority. If you can get me to them, then it's fine. Otherwise, sorry. Okay, and I'm not going to pay this bill as well. Now do whatever you want. Fine. Now what happens when they see the person is becoming adamant? Now they start searching some options, and these options are available only to those people. Now what can be the chances? Now one option, the people tell you, okay sir, I just forward your request. Okay, let's see what can be done. Later on they will contact you and say that, okay fine sir, we will waive off your payment. Okay, but that will be done in the next bill. Fine, this time you will have to deposit the amount, and the next time the same amount will be deducted. Okay, we'll give you the discount for that. So how they are able to do that? Because some kind of minor policy is available. that is visible only to the insiders. Understood? So this is the one example. There can be the multiple examples. Okay, understood. What is the policy? Policy is the broad framework which governs and guides a manager to take decisions. Like I told you that this is a general statement. Okay, so policies just give you the general guidance. Okay, it's not like that you are getting the ready-made solutions. Okay, these will only guide the managers to take the decisions. All right. So this is all about the policies. Now let's move on to another plan.